Assalamu alaikum students. Today we'll discuss paragraph writing. So let's see what paragraph writing is and why to learn a paragraph. Throughout your education, you have heard it all from your teacher. Read the 2 paragraphs, write a 5 paragraph essay, and most of the time your teachers are shouting at you, organize your paragraphs. But what is a paragraph? Let's see. It is a huge help with these types of activities if you truly understand the definition of a paragraph. So paragraph writing is always there in your classroom, whether you are writing or reading or you are a professional, you always come across paragraphs. So it would be better for you to understand how to write a good paragraph and what are the do's and don'ts of a good paragraph. You are constantly required to deal with paragraphs either with your own writing or with reading. So if you are writing, even then you have to write the paragraph, or if you are reading, you have to understand the paragraph. So let's see what paragraph is. Definition of a paragraph. A paragraph is a section of a piece of writing. Number 2, it covers one topic. It means that your paragraph will always revolve around only one topic, one idea. Number 3, it is indicated by indentation. It means that your paragraph is always indented. A section of a piece of writing. This means paragraph breaks down larger pieces of writing. All of your writings are broken into smaller pieces. Actually, the paragraphs combine together to make a passage. For example, imagine you are reading a chapter in your history textbook on President Musharraf. So there would be variety of information related to President Musharraf, all the information related to his personal life, related to his military life, related to his political career. It would be divided into various paragraphs. Each section of that chapter will be broken into paragraph. The paragraphs will help you follow along with the ideas throughout the entire chapter. So it would be easy for the reader to understand all the history through the paragraphs, which are organized in a proper way. Covers one topic. Another very important thing to be considered and to remember is that your paragraph always revolves around one topic or one idea. Within that larger piece of writing, each paragraph should explain just one concept related to the larger topic. Right? You are not going to divert from the main topic. You are not going to give any other idea in one paragraph. If you want to introduce another topic, another idea, then you should switch towards the next paragraph. But in one paragraph, you are not going to make hodgepodge of various ideas. You should religiously follow one idea or one subject in one paragraph. I have brought one example and you will see how the whole paragraph is revolving around one theme. Trees are useful to us. They clean the air around us. On a hot day, they give us shade. We can use their wood to build our homes. Furthermore, trees also help to keep the environment fresh. They provide us oxygen. Thus, trees are quite beneficial for us. So you can see in this short paragraph that all the information is revolving around one idea, and that is trees are useful to us. There is no diversion. All the supporting details, all the arguments are there to support how trees are useful to us. And this is how you are also going to develop your paragraph, and your paragraph should also revolve around one idea. Number 3, indicated by indentation. This is another very important thing which a writer is supposed to do. This makes paragraphs easy to identify. If a if a reader is reading the paragraph and there are many paragraphs, but if the paragraphs are indented properly, the reader would easily identify that now there is another next paragraph. So it would be easy for him to move from one paragraph to another paragraph. The first line of all paragraphs need to be indented or moved further from the margins than the other lines. This way you can visually see how the topics may change or how a chapter will be broken up. So it would be easy for the reader to understand that now the new topic is going to be started. For example, you can see here that we have given space before starting the paragraph, and it happens only in the first line. Later on you can see that we have not left any space. Swat is an amazing place to visit. First, it is a place known for its scenic beauty. Also, Swat offers a range of adventure activities for the visitor. In addition, you get to visit exotic places within the city. These features make Swat truly wonderful place, well worth a visit. So there is not only indentation in the paragraph, you can also see that there is unity of information. We build an argument that Swat is an amazing place to visit, and you can see the rest of all the information is supporting the idea why Swat is an amazing place to visit, and you will not observe any type of diversion anywhere. Length of a paragraph. While there is no formal rule about how many sentences a paragraph should have, the general rule is that a good paragraph typically consists of an introductory sentence, 1 to 3 supporting sentences, and a concluding sentence that leads into the next paragraph. It means that there should be one introductory sentence, and then there should be few supporting sentences and a concluding sentence. Sometimes you will see that the paragraphs are around 6 to 7 sentences. Sometimes they might be exceeding 6 to 7 sentences. Remember, these sentences are not simple sentences. This is apple, that is book. No, the paragraph can be combination of variety of sentences, including compound sentences, complex sentences, compound complex sentences, imperative, exclamatory. It just depends upon the requirement. So you just need to give reasonable length to the paragraph, and you need to support the topic sentence around 7 to 8, 9, 10 sentences. Purpose of a paragraph. Paragraphs help to keep a large piece of writing organized. So paragraphs help to make you more organized. It helps you to give your information in an organized way. Your order is good, and the reader is at a more comfortable position to understand what you have written. But if there are no paragraphs, if your writing is not divided into variety of paragraph, it would be very difficult for reader to understand your point of view. Since each paragraph should cover one specific concept, they provide a flow to the writing. Overall, your reader would get more fluent to grasp the idea. When you write assignments or essays, paragraphs will help you keep your ideas organized, right? Your information would become more organized, and your reader would understand the information, the piece of writing, in a shorter time. But if it is not organized, the reader would be frustrated, and the reader would spend more time to understand it, right? So you need to put yourself into reader's shoes, and you need to give an organized piece of writing to your reader in form of paragraphs, so that the reader might understand it properly. You should even decide the topic for each paragraph before you begin writing. So it is already advised that whether you are writing a paragraph or an essay or a précis, you should always move towards pre-writing stages first. And during pre-writing stages, you should think about all the ideas which you are going to write in the paragraph, and even you should draw an outline about the order of information which you are going to follow in the paragraph. That would help you to give a more organized piece of paragraph. Then you can organize the whole piece of writing by deciding the order of the topics and thus the paragraph, right? If you do this and stick to one main idea per paragraph, then your paper and your ideas will not be confusing. There will be no ambiguity for your reader if your paragraphs are organized properly. Besides helping writers, help paragraphs also help the readers as well. So both the writers and the readers are in a comfortable zone if the writing is divided into variety of paragraphs. Structure of a paragraph. Let's see how a paragraph is structured. So first of all, we'll see the topic sentence, which is the first or second sentence of a paragraph. The topic sentence is the most important part of your paragraph. It tells the reader the general idea of your paragraph. What does it tell? It tells the general idea and should essentially hook them into wanting to read more. It means that the main idea, the main theme of your whole paragraph should be explained in the topic sentence, in the first or second sentence, in order to attract the attention of your reader. The topic sentence helps to provide a general summary for your paragraph. It means that your topic sentence should sum up the whole paragraph. After reading the topic sentence, the reader should get a complete roadmap of the whole paragraph, that what is there in rest of the paragraph. A reader should encounter the topic sentence and have a general idea of what the paragraph will encounter to discuss. Okay, let's see. You can see here the topic sentence. There are 3 reasons why Canada is one of the best countries in the world. So after reading this topic sentence, the reader just gets the idea that this paragraph is going to discuss the 3 major reasons due to which Canada is one of the best countries in the world. So that should be the beauty of the topic sentence, that it should clearly sum up, it should clearly summarize all the information which is going to be presented in rest of the paragraph. The next important part of the paragraph is supporting details. Supporting details, they come after the topic sentence, making up the body of a paragraph. Without strong and vivid supporting detail, it hardly matters what a great topic sentence a writer has created for a paragraph. So if topic sentence is important, if a good topic sentence is important for a good paragraph, strong and clear supporting details are also necessary. You need to give the supporting details, you need to give the facts, you need to give the evidence to support those facts in order to give strong and solid supporting details. Don't limit yourself to a set of number of sentences. Yes, your paragraph should not be too short or too long. Yes, remember, it should not be too short, there should not be deficiency of the supporting details, and it should not be too long either. There shouldn't be any irrelevant information, and by that you should not make it lengthy, but it should be an appropriate length to flesh out the entirety of your paragraph's idea. The supporting details are important enough that you could think of them as the real meat of any paragraph. So your supporting details are actually the real meat of any paragraph. They actually make your paragraph more solid and strong. A reader should not be left with question after a sufficiently development paragraph. It means that if you have written a paragraph and after reading that paragraph, the reader should not be confused, the reader should not be lost in terms of understanding that paragraph. Types of supporting details might include, you can give the reasons, number 2 you can give facts, number 3 statistics, number 4 quotations, and number 5 examples. You can give all these ingredients into the supporting detail in order to make your supporting details more strong. For example, here you can see that we have given the supporting details. First, Canada has an excellent healthcare system. You can see this is the fact, right? And after describing the fact, we have given the evidence of this fact in order to prove that this fact is correct. All Canadians have access to medical services at a reasonable price. Second, Canada has a high standard of education. Now this is the second fact, and you can see that the red highlighted area is the supporting evidence to this fact. Students are taught by well-trained teachers and are encouraged to continue studying at university. Finally, Canada's cities are clean and efficiently managed. Canadian cities have many parks and lots of space for people to live. So this is how we give the main facts and then the supporting detail in order to give a strong supporting detail or the body of the paragraph. Another important thing which you can observe is that we have used transitional words. For example, first, second, finally. So see, these supporting words are very smoothly, they are moving from one point to another. If we don't give these transitional words, all the information would mix up and our reader would be confused. So it's very important to give the transitional phrases or transitional words into your paragraph. Number 3, closing sentence. It is important for students to know how to write a conclusion, whether to derive the final point of view or to transition to the next point. The conclusion ties together everything mentioned in a paragraph. A conclusion may restate the claim in the topic sentence, but now it has all the supporting details behind it. Whether the conclusion reinforces the topic or leads into the following topic, a paragraph concluding sentence plays an important role, right? So let's see how a concluding sentence is written. Okay, you can see that this is the concluding sentence. As a result, Canada is a desirable place to live. You can see the transitional phrase as a result. So this transitional phrase is giving us a hint that now the paragraph has been concluded. And Canada is a desirable place to live. You can also observe that this concluding sentence is reiteration of the topic sentence. However, we have rephrased the topic sentence. So this is how we write the closing sentence. Okay, next we'll see how a paragraph is organized. It is very important that our paragraph should be organized, and the paragraph can be organized in variety of ways. We need to follow unity. Number 2, coherence. Number 3, we need to see whether we are giving the faulty start. Number 4, lack of topic sentence. Number 5, development of the ideas. Number 6, vocabulary choices. So we are going to consider all these issues in order to make our paragraph more organized. So let's see the detail. Unity. So how can we give unity in a paragraph? To maintain a sense of unity, the paragraph must focus solely on a single idea, point, or argument that is being discussed. So again, a reminder, you are not going to introduce second idea, second point, or another different argument into one paragraph. Religiously, your paragraph should revolve around one idea, one point, and one argument. Therefore, the paragraph should not begin to stray and develop new ideas. Just remember this point and never divert from this rule. If you begin to write sentence that wander from the paragraph's main idea, then it is time to start a new paragraph. If you are going to introduce new ideas, new topics, it means that now this is the time to start a new paragraph and you should start the next paragraph. For example, look here. What happened in this paragraph. Let's read this paragraph and see if this paragraph is united. I live in a flat with my family. We have 2 bedrooms and a living room. We have a garden and we have some flowers there. In weekdays, I arrive home at 5 o'clock and I have lunch. Then I do my homework and go to bed. I had a computer, but now it does not work. I have a brother and a sister, and I think I am very lucky to live with them. Sometimes our relatives visit us. Our flat becomes very crowded sometimes, but I like it. Pause the video here. See this paragraph carefully and see if there is any diversion in this paragraph. Yes, you are right. Here lies the diversion. We were describing what was the topic sentence? I live in a flat with my family. So we were just focusing upon the flat, some description of the flat and how I am living with my family. All of a sudden, the writer starts giving the routine. So that was the diversion. That was not about the topic sentence. So whenever you want to give an argument, just see the topic sentence. If it is diverting from the topic sentence, if there is any diversion, it means that now the paragraph is no more united and there is another idea mixed up in the paragraph, which we need to avoid. Number two, coherence. Coherence is more commonly referred to as the flow of your writing. It means that your writing is smoothly flowing and all the ideas are smoothly interconnected. When a paragraph flows, the reader will be able to understand the main idea that you have presented. How can you ensure that your paragraph maintains a flow? Let's see. Well, after presenting your main idea in your topic sentence, each sentence following must build upon each other in an organized manner. So how would you get to know whether you are coherent or not? Once you have written the topic sentence, next, all the arguments should be connected to this topic sentence. If any idea is not connected to this topic sentence, if any idea is different from this topic sentence, it means that you are no more coherent. Let's see the example. Okay, let's read this paragraph and see if this paragraph is coherent or not. I live in a house in Izmit. If it isn't old or modern, it's a normal Turkish house. We can say it is near the sea. It takes about 10 minutes to go to the seaside on foot. We have one bedroom, one living room. We also have two other rooms too. We use them as a dining room. Naturally, we have a kitchen, a bathroom, and a toilet. I live with my parents and our house has a little garden. My parents spend their time there to grow vegetables and fruit. So again pause the video and carefully see if there is any diversion, if there is any information which is breaking the flow of rest of the sentences. So what happened? We have given the information related to where the house is. Then we got to know about the type of the house. Then we got to know about the location of the house. We got to know about the rooms in the house. And we got to know about the facts that he lives with his parents. And again the location, variety of location related to garden and rooms. So where is the problem? The problem is he lives with his parent. Why is it problematic? Let's see again. In this whole paragraph, we got to know about the description of the house. So all of a sudden we got a jerk in form of the diversion, and we observe that now the flow of the information has been disturbed through this sentence where he says I live with my parents. So that is not the point here. And this is the diversion also, and the flow of information has also been disturbed just because of this sentence, and that's why this sentence, this paragraph gets incoherent. Faulty start. Here are some ways to bore your readers to death when starting a paragraph or an essay with a cliche like dash and dash plays a great role in our lives. Dash and dash is very important issue in today's world. So these are just outdated cliches. They have been frequently used and they are just unbearable if you start your paragraph or your essay with such type of outdated cliches. You can also give a nonsense sentence like I want to talk about. Most of the time my student, they start their paragraph with such type of phrases. I want to talk about this and that. I want to tell you that. So please avoid such kind of cliches, avoid such kind of nonsense sentences. For example, the faulty start. I want to talk about friendship. I want to talk about friendship. Just observe it. Friends can change your life, so you must know who is a real friend. Firstly, your friend must understand you, and of course, you must understand her too. I think another important point in a friendship is confidence. You must not tell lies to each other. In addition, you must say everything about yourself. I think these are important for a friendship. If you have a friend like this, you don't break up with her, because a real friend is not found easily. So again, the faulty start has been given to this paragraph, which we need to avoid. How can we give a good uh, start? Let's see. You can see that friends play great roles in our lives, so we must know our friends. Okay, what a compact and beautiful start to the paragraph, without any outdated cliche, without any awkward sentence. So straight away we switch towards the topic sentence, and we haven't used any unnecessary phrase or expression. Next, lack of topic sentence. So that is also an issue. Topic sentence is the main idea. It shows your attitude, what kind of attitude you are going to develop in rest of the paragraph, and it shows your evaluation of something. How would you evaluate the information? Having no topic sentence is bad both for the writer and the reader. If there is no topic sentence, it's very painful for your reader. Why is it painful for your reader? Because your reader will have to read the whole paragraph in order to understand the main theme, and obviously it would be very time consuming for your reader as well. On the other hand, if a good topic sentence is given, the reader can skip rest of the information. By just reading the topic sentence, the reader can get the idea about the main theme of that paragraph, and this is what we usually do in IELTS or TOEFL, where we have to attempt lengthy reading passages and we have shortage of time. It's practically not possible for us to read all the passages or all the paragraphs. So what we do, we just read the topic sentence of each paragraph to get the idea about the main theme of that paragraph. And it is bad thing for the writer as well. If the writer is not giving the topic sentence, what would happen? The writer would divert from the main idea, because the topic sentence is not written, so the writer can easily move from one idea to another, and in this way there would be a disorganized piece of paragraph. Firstly, the reader has to read the entire paragraph to get to the point. Here the example is one paragraph long. What if the example was a paper of 2 to 3 pages? This is one side. So if the information consists of 2 to 3 pages or more than that, so look at the situation of your reader and the pain of your reader, that your reader will have to read all that information in order to understand the main idea. So please give the topic sentence properly, and save the time of your reader as well as yours. Lack of a topic sentence also causes the writer to drift away from the topic. He loses control over the writing, and we need to avoid it. So we need to put ourselves on the safe side by giving a good topic sentence. So let's see at this example where there is no topic sentence. So the reader will have to read all the paragraph in order to understand the main theme. And let's read this paragraph. I hate lie. I always try not to tell lies, and I want that from my friend too. I think it is the most important behavior. I can believe everything my friends say. In addition, a good friend must say his ideas to me firstly. I mean, he should not talk about me with other people, especially about the bad thing. He does not have to talk because it might be wrong. Secondly, a good friend must help me. He must do his best. He should ask help from me too. If we solve problems together, our friendship will be better. and it will become stronger. Thirdly, the talking time is important. I can talk with my friends for a long time, and during that time I must be happy. That is why we should like the same things. In conclusion, trust is the basics of a friendship. So at this point you should pause the video, and as there is no topic sentence in this paragraph, after reading this whole paragraph, you should try to give an appropriate topic sentence to this paragraph. So let's see. In this paragraph, we have a topic sentence. A good friend is a person who does not tell me lies, who helps me and let me help him, and who I can talk to in trust. So you can see that we have given a compact topic sentence where we have explained all those points which we are going to give in the supporting details. So by just reading the topic sentence, the reader got complete idea about the rest of the information in the paragraph. Development of the ideas. It means that every idea discussed in the paragraph should be adequately explained and supported through evidence and examples. So your ideas should be developed properly. Whatever fact you are given, you need to explain that fact through evidence and examples. Only giving the fact is not a complete idea. You need to support those facts as well. We generally believe that people would easily understand us when we write. Most of the time we misunderstand, and we think that whatever we have written, the reader would be able to understand it quite easily. Actually, it doesn't happen like that. Unfortunately, our use of language may not be perfect and our ideas may be different. If we want our ideas to be understood, we need to explain them and give specific examples of each. Right? Listing our ideas is never enough. Whenever you give any idea, you need to give the examples, the facts, the evidence, the quotation, anything to explain that idea for proper understanding of the reader. Okay, faulty sample. Let's see the faulty sample where the ideas are not developed properly. First of all, a friend must not tell a lie. He must always tell me the truth, and he must be honest, because if there is honesty between two friends, their relationship will last until death. In addition to honesty, helping or being near a friend on a bad day is very important. Another point to consider is that he must criticize me if I make a mistake. So what happened in this paragraph? If we list the ideas, here is what we get. A friend must not tell a lie, number one. Number two, be there for him on a bad day. Number three, criticize when necessary. But we can see that the ideas are not developed properly. There are no transitional phrases, and the ideas are not supported properly through proper evidence or examples. You can see here, now this is the good version, where you can see that we have transitional phrases and we have the supporting evidence. Let's read this paragraph. There are three qualities that I need to see in a good friend. First, a good friend should not tell lies. I need to trust him so that I can talk to him. So this is the supporting evidence. Second, a good friend should be there when I needed him. I should be able to find him near me when I am in a bad mood or when I have a problem. Finally, when necessary, he should criticize me so that I can change my undesirable behavior or see where I am wrong. I think these three qualities are the basic properties in a good friend. So you can see that now the ideas are developed properly, and this is how we are also going to develop our ideas in paragraph. Vocabulary choices. It is also important to consider the vocabulary which we are going to use in our paragraph. Certain words which we frequently encounter in our everyday communication may not be suitable for use in academic essays or paragraphs. These include words which are casual, informal, and commonly used only in spoken English. This does not mean that informal language is inferior to formal language. No, that doesn't mean that. It simply simply means that there are words which are more appropriate than others for use in each context. Listing our ideas is never enough. We just need to give proper words to list those ideas. Okay, a couple of researchers have found out that, so instead of using a couple of researchers, you can say several researchers have discovered that. That is more academic expression. And next, one wonders if cosmetic surgeries really originated from the psychological challenges of busted individuals. So slang language, you can observe here busted slang word, and you can give alternative word. One wonders if cosmetic surgeries really originated from the psychological challenges of unattractive individuals, right? So we converted busted into unattractive, which is more academic and decent expression. Okay, so this is the time to do some exercises. Let's do them. Okay, exercise 1. Look at the supporting sentences in these short paragraphs and choose the best topic sentence. Let's read the paragraph and then we'll select the topic sentence. Mine is 10 years old and it is always breaking down when I need it. It costs a lot of money for repairs each year. Also, the heater doesn't work anymore, so it is cold in the winter. I really wish I could change it. So, what can be the topic sentence of this paragraph according to the supporting details? My car is very old. I wish I could buy a new car. My car cost a lot of money. Yes, give a pause to this video and think about the proper topic sentence. So you have been given three options. My car is very old. I wish I could buy a new car. My car cost a lot of money. So the first two seems to be a bit appropriate topic sentence for this paragraph, but after reading the concluding sentence, I really wish I could change it. I really wish. This is giving us a hint that the topic sentence should be I wish I could buy a new car. Why? Because concluding sentence is always rephrasing of the topic sentence. So that's why we thought that option B is more appropriate than option A. Okay, let's move towards exercise 2. Here too you will read the supporting detail and you will find out the best topic sentence. And the supporting detail is the teachers are all very old and boring. The courses are not good. The buildings are old and dirty and there is no heating in them. Worst of all, it takes me 2 hours to get there. I wish I had gone to a different college. Again, pause the video and try to select the most appropriate topic sentence from the given three options. Yes, you are right. Option C is the most appropriate option for the topic sentence. I really hate my college, because in option A, it's only about my college is too old, while there is description of the courses and teachers as well. So I don't like the teachers at my college is also not appropriate, because it is just one point discussed here. So the overall point which has been strengthened in the supporting detail is I really hate my college, because it has been rephrased in the concluding sentence. I wish I had gone to a different college. So there is kind of dislikeness. That's why we decided that option C would be the most appropriate option. Exercise 3. Look at the topic sentences below and choose the best for supporting sentences for each one. So you can see here what happened, that movie watching can be a bad experience. So this is the title of the paragraph. I have given you the topic sentence, and then some of the transitional phrases have also been given. So what you need to do, you need to add information here to give the appropriate paragraph. And what is the topic sentence? Everyone enjoys going to the cinema to watch movies for entertainment. However, watching movies can be a viewer's nightmare. So now you need to give the supporting detail. Pause the video here and write down this paragraph, and then we'll see a complete paragraph. Okay, let's move towards the complete paragraph, and you should tally your work with the given paragraph. Everyone enjoys going to the cinema to watch movies for entertainment. However, watching movies can be a viewer's nightmare. Now, all the arguments and all the supporting details have been given to strengthen this point of view, how movie watching can be a viewer's nightmare. First of all, we could hear cell phones ringing, although viewers are not allowed to switch on their cell phones in the cinema. The ringing is very distracting to us, especially when we are trying hard to concentrate on the movie. Secondly, some viewers are restless. They keep shifting the position of their body when they are seated, and sometimes they accidentally touch you. This is very annoying indeed when your viewing is suddenly disrupted by your inconsiderate neighbor. Finally, some viewers often love to talk about the movie even while the movie is playing. They make comments and they even predict how the movie would end. They are directly annoying other viewers who are trying to listen to the dialogues. For these reasons, going to the movie is sometimes not pleasurable. So you have seen that this paragraph has been developed with a very strong topic sentence, then supporting details. You can see the transitional phrases. And let's move towards the learning outcomes now. You should have the ability to do the following after watching this video lesson. Define a paragraph, identify the purpose of paragraphs, identify the structure of an effective paragraph, explain the importance of relevant and supporting details to an effective paragraph. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. See you in the next lecture with some other new topic. Until then, bye.